What's up, everybody? Gonna do a quick review for Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Just a warning, this is gonna have spoilers. Minimal spoilers, but it's still gonna have spoilers. So, what do I think of this movie? I went into the movie thinking that it was gonna be really good, and it was really good. So, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, it starts out really cool with a, kind of a ancient type of I guess you could say it's like an ancient Chinese kind of empire, basically. And that first scene where he's going against the opposing army is just so cool. He rides in with his horse, and they shoot all the arrows, and he just he uses the ten rings for like a force field, and I just thought that was such a cool scene when he was making a path for his army to come through and take the enemy stronghold. So that was really cool. And then of course we jump forward to like the present day when we're introduced to Shang Chi. He goes by Sean, and basically it was just it was a heavy hitter. Right into about, I guess, maybe about 20 to 30 minutes after that first scene with the action, basically, which is a flashback. So basically about 20, 30 minutes in, we get some nice good action with Shang-Chi on the bus, that the scene that you guys seen in the trailer, which was pretty cool. And the choreography for this film is just really good. The choreography is solid. You feel like I feel like martial artists were actually involved with the choreography, like real martial artists. And obviously, there's stunt doubles and everything in superhero movies, you know. But I think the choreography was done really well. I loved the hand-to-hand combat, and as far as the special effects go, I think the special effects were pretty cool. I really liked the the special effects for like the Ten Rings, like in that very beginning, and then the special effects for like the I don't know if you want to call it like air bending and water bending, kind of that type of stuff. That all that stuff that you guys see later in the movie once the plot really gets going. But overall, I think the characters, Shang Chi's character was well developed. They have pretty good flashbacks throughout the movie that gives you they don't just give you everything at once about Shang Chi. So it's gradual. They give you different parts and pieces through flashbacks, which I think is good. And it was directed really well. It flowed really well, so it all made sense. And then the kind of lead up to the climax, the final battle, when they make it to the village, his mother's village. It was really cool to see the creatures, like those big lion looking things, and then those horses. It was really cool. I was really impressed with the special effects. I thought it was very unique because it's kind of hard to kind of create mythical creatures that haven't really been seen before. And while they resembled pretty much earth creatures, I thought it was really cool. And I really liked how they kind of drew on, obviously, with Shang-Chi being a Chinese martial artist, you could obviously tell that they drew a lot on Chinese culture and mythology. There's they mention the Year of the Dragon, or no, maybe it was the Day of the Dead, which is like a very famous Chinese holiday where they're able to when they can send gifts to their deceased ancestors and things like that. So obviously there's like a lot of Chinese mythology and kind of culture in this movie because it is a mostly Asian Asian cast. So I think that's definitely cool. And they kind of took that inspiration and kind of applied it to some of the creatures as well, which I thought was really awesome, especially like the dragon who kind of saves Shang-Chi at the very, I guess, like during that final battle after he fights his father. I thought that was super cool. The dragon, he came up, brought him out of the water and everything. I thought that was a really cool look for a dragon, and it was just very, very mystical, very fantasy style, which is super cool, fantasy and all these strange beasts and things like that. So I really like that. And then the final battle with his father with the 10 rings, that battle was super cool. And then the big bad soul eating dragon, that thing looked frightening. Like that thing was terrifying. Like that thing was absolutely terrifying, and it looked great. Like the detail on it, the the special effects looked super good, and I just really like the action sequences. So basically, overall, good characters. You really get a good dynamic between Shang-Chi, his best friend, Katie, his sister, and then the father. There's those kind of four main characters, and they all are very good in their own way as far as like connecting the story together. Obviously Katie's not like, she's kind of just a friend, whereas the story is based around more of Shang-Chi and his father. And it's very, family, I guess you could say, bad blood, with families and things like that. And that's kind of a common thing for Marvel movies, for the characters to have like bad blood with their family members. And this one's no different, except it was done actually really well, and it's it actually seems pretty believable. I mean, believable as it can be possibly for being a you know Marvel sci-fi movie with dragons and mystical monsters. But what I mean by that is the family dynamics between Shang-Chi, his father, and his sister. That relationship that that they built up through the flashbacks, and then once his sister and him are together, it was very cool. Very, it's basically believable. Like you believe that they're like a real family, and they've had their disagreements and grudges and just things like that. Basically, like what real families go through. So overall, it's a good movie. I like the story, the action, the effects, the choreography. I think it was all really good. And honestly, if I were to give this movie a rating, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10, which is just a pretty high rating, I think. I mean, I couldn't really ask for more for this film. Just thought it was super good, and I'm actually excited to see what Shang-Chi's going to be doing in the future for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So anyway, that's my review for Shang-Chi. It's, I think, a fantastic movie. I would definitely recommend it to anybody who obviously watches the Marvel movies, because this is, part of phase, what is it, 4? Are they on phase 4 now? It's hard to keep up. Or even if you're really just into kung fu style, martial arts style movies, you can watch it also. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, good movie. I would definitely recommend it to anybody who likes action movies. And you should definitely check it out because it's worth the watch.